I shouldn't have opened that door. I tell myself whenever thunder hits the windows at night. 1 second, I was running through the Grand Mercer Hotel in borrowed heels, my lungs burning, my heart loud enough to drown out the string quartet down the hall. The next, I crashed into a wedding so elegant it looked carved from money and candlelight. White roses, crystal chandeliers, 100 stunned faces. And at the center of it all stood the groom in a black tuxedo, one hand still lifted toward the bride, his gray eyes locked on me like he'd been waiting for this exact mistake my whole life. No one moved. Even the music seemed afraid to breathe. My borrowed heel slipped on the marble, and I caught myself just before I fell, but not before I saw the bride turn toward me with a face gone pale beneath perfect makeup. Then the groom stepped down from the altar. Slow, controlled, terrifying only because he did not need to raise his voice for the entire room to part around him. He stopped 3 feet away, close enough for me to catch the clean scent of cedar and starch, and said, in a tone far too calm for the moment, "Who were you running from?" I should have lied. I could not. My throat closed. I looked past Adrian Romano's shoulder toward the ballroom doors, and that was when I saw him. The same man from the service hallway downstairs, damp coat, restless eyes, pretending to belong among people who had never worried about rent a day in their lives. I do not know his name, I whispered, forcing the words out. But he followed me from the parking garage. Adrian did not turn right away. He just studied my face like truth had a shape, and he knew how to recognize it. Then his jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. "Lock the room," he said, "and no one leaves until I say so." The ballroom changed without anyone announcing it. Men in black suits appeared near every exit as if they had risen out of the gold walls themselves, and the guests responded with the kind of silence that only money and fear could buy. I took 1 step back, then another. Adrian noticed both. The bride said something sharp under her breath, but he did not even look at her. His attention stayed on me, steady and unreadable. "You are shaking," he said quietly. I hated that he could see it. "I am fine," I lied. His gaze flicked to the doors, then back to me. "No," he said. "You are not. Come with me." He led me through a side door hidden behind a wall of white orchids and candlelight, and the sound of the wedding faded behind us like it belonged to someone else's life. The hallway was quiet, carpet soft under my heels, the air cooler, cleaner, controlled. I wrapped my arms around myself and kept walking because every instinct told me stopping here would be a mistake. Adrian opened the door to a private suite and stepped aside, waiting for me to enter first. That should have felt polite. Somehow, it felt more dangerous. I turned toward him, pulse fluttering. "Why are you helping me?" I asked. His expression did not change. "I have not decided that yet." The suite smelled faintly of cedar, fresh linen, and something expensive I could not name. I stayed near the door while Adrian loosened his cuff links with slow, precise movements, like chaos could not touch him unless he allowed it. Then his eyes dropped to my hand. I followed his gaze and saw the thin red line across my knuckles, probably from catching myself on shattered crystal downstairs. "Sit," he said. I should have refused. Instead, I lowered myself onto the velvet chair by the fireplace and watched the most dangerous man I had ever met reach for the first aid kit like this was somehow normal for him. He knelt in front of me with the first aid kit open on the coffee table, and for one disorienting second, Adrian Romano did not look like a man who could stop a room with a glance. He looked focused, careful, almost gentle. "This will sting," he said, and his voice was so calm it made my chest ache. I watched his long fingers wrap the small cut across my hand with practiced precision, as if he had done this before, though I could not imagine for whom. "You still have not told me why you were in that hallway," he said without looking up. I swallowed hard. "Because I heard something I was never supposed to hear." Adrian went still. Not dramatic, not loud, just still in a way that made the entire room feel smaller. He closed the first aid kit, set it aside, and finally looked up at me with those cool gray eyes that missed nothing. "Tell me exactly what you heard, Chloe." Hearing my name in his voice did something unsettling to my pulse. I drew in a shaky breath. 2 men were arguing near the service elevator. One of them said the bride was not the real target tonight. He said the ceremony was only cover. For the first time, something sharp flashed across Adrian's face. "Then you did not interrupt my evening," he said quietly. "You exposed it." Before I could answer, a sharp knock landed against the suite door. Not frantic, precise. Adrian rose in one smooth motion, every trace of gentleness gone behind that polished, unreadable calm. One of his men spoke from the hallway, voice low enough that I caught only fragments. The bride. The guest list. The east exit. Adrian adjusted one cuff, then looked back at me as if he had already made a decision I had not earned the right to hear. You are staying here, he said. My laugh came out thin and nervous. That sounds less like protection and more like being trapped. His gaze held mine. Tonight, he said, those are the same thing.